Hey champions, how you doing? Well, me and my friends were discussing my previous video. If you haven't seen that video, the link is going to appear here and also in the description box. Of course, this video does not require you to see that video as a prerequisite, but because it's in reference with the previous video, I'm going to paste the link. So coming back to the discussion, while we were discussing on how to grow the business and what is that one thing that an entrepreneur must do, all of us unanimously agreed without any dispute that to grow the business, timing is of paramount importance. The kind of success that you get depends a lot on the timing. When I say timing, we meant that what is it that you do when. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the different time in business. You got to do different things. There are different stages that the business goes through. And if you do the right thing at the right stage, you will be able to propel your company to the next level and keep it there. So this video is for entrepreneurs. This video is for family run business owners who are stuck at one of these stages. This video is also for professionals who seek to become the leadership in a small and medium-sized enterprise or a family run business. So without any further ado, let's get started. So there are 4 stages in my opinion. Now these 4 stages, I have named them the way I felt right, but the name is not important. The context and the logic behind it is important. So stage number 1, I call it the startup stage. Now in this stage, you are starting a company or with a new product or with an existing product, but the fact is that nobody in the market knows you. If you're starting a retail store, nobody in that area knows you or the existence of your retail store. If you're starting a manufacturing unit, nobody in the distribution channel knows about you. If you're starting an innovative product, then nobody knows about the product and the fact that you exist. That stage is, in my opinion, called a startup stage. Now, what is it that you should not shy away from doing in this stage? And in fact, you should mandatorily do. And that one thing is called customer education. Now, customer education means marketing. In this stage, it's extremely important for you to spend your money to create awareness, to raise your hand and be able to say loudly that you are in existence and this is what you can help solve, or this is the need that you can help fulfill. Now, this marketing needs to be done consistently over a long period of time. Like they say, if you say even the wrong thing multiple times, the wrong becomes right. Now, obviously, I'm not wanting you to say the wrong thing, but learning from this phrase, you know that if you say something repeatedly, people are going to remember what you're saying, and that is awareness. So you got to spend heavily on marketing, customer education, and creating awareness. Now, when you do this consistently for a long period of time, you will realize that there are some people who resonate with your message, your ads, your pamphlets more than the others. So you got to analyze that and keep narrowing your customer segment so you can understand which is the customer type that spends maximum and is very easily able to resonate with your message. That could be on your Instagram ads, or if you're doing online, or that could be the inquiries that you generate through IndiaMart and other portals, or that could also be the number of people that come to your retail store because you've done pamphlet distribution. So marketing is the key thing to do if you are at that stage where the awareness in the market that you really want to capture is not there. The second stage, I call it the growth stage. Now you will reach this stage irrespective, but you will reach this stage far more efficiently and stronger if you do your first step right. In the first step, obviously you don't get a lot of sales, but because you've done a lot of awareness, the second stage, which is the growth stage, you start getting immediate results. So if you were to plot your sales growth on a graph, the startup stage would look flat and the growth stage would suddenly increase. You'll see a sudden spike in sales because now the awareness is there. The business is growing. Now, in this stage, what you got to do is you got to focus on a couple of things. The first thing that you got to focus on is creating robust processes. See, look, when sales happen, immediately the heavy lifting has to be done by operations, which means if you're manufacturing a product, then the manufacturing process needs to become very strong. You can't make errors there. If you're in the retail business, let's say you're a shop selling some snacks, then you got to make sure that your cooking process, your inventory, etc., all run like a orchestra. If that does not happen, and if you have too much dependency on people, then it's going to become a problem. Very soon people will come to you, get a bad experience, maybe delayed product, defective product, and they're not going to be happy with it, and the sales would go down because now More and more people are made aware of your inefficiency. So what you got to do in this stage is build processes and reduce people dependency. The second thing that you do in this stage is obviously create a culture. Now, when you design processes, a lot of people who take pride in heavy lifting themselves and having their dependency, because you are going to get people like that who will feel valued only because everybody depends on them. The moment you do processes, you will need a culture. You will need people in your organizations to believe that processes are better than people dependency. Anybody who adheres to the process, creates new processes, makes things more efficient by the means of processes is going to be appreciated. So you got to start creating that culture. And the third thing that you got to do at this stage is start identifying potential leaders in your company and start grooming them to take leadership roles. Because with more sales, with good processes, your company is only going to expand. And when it expands, you will need heads to head different departments, and you need to start doing that right away. So if you've done the second thing well, then the third thing is called scale up stage. In this stage, people know your brand, people are aware of it. If you're a retailer, you're like a landmark. You already have identified leaders in your company, and in fact, you may have even appointed them as department heads. So things are running smooth, and at this stage, for you to move to the next stage, you've got to go about capturing market, which means if you are serving currently, let's say 50% of the people who require your kind of service, and the other 50% is going to your competitor or an alternative product supplier, you need to make sure that your 50% increases to 60, 70, 80, maybe even 90. I'm not talking about monopoly creation, because that is not something that happens in this day and age. If it does for you, fantastic, but you need to go about doing a little bit more in terms of market share than what you're doing currently. Various ways in which you got to do that. One way is called acquisitions, which means you got to focus on smaller companies which are just starting up in your arena, and you got to identify them and maybe acquire them. The second thing that you can do is do joint ventures. If there is a company that is equal in size with you, they do one portion of the business very well, you do another portion, try and join hands, collaborate, become joint ventures, become partners, so that together you can take on a big fish. The third thing that you can do is, because you've done the second step well, which is you have processes, you have leaders who are managing the departments, in short, your company is well organized and well oiled, in which case you could also get yourself a buyout, which means some big fish may end up buying you out because it's easy to manage your company. Now, these are the three ways in which you could go about capturing the market. There is a fourth one, which is called strategic innovation or R&D, which means at this stage you could also not do any of the acquisitions or buyouts or anything, but you could invest heavily on R&D, research and development, and bring about some innovation in what you do. And that innovation should be such big that it completely changes what the customer gets after that innovation is implemented. So that's your third stage. If you've done all these three steps well, then the fourth step is called saturation. Now, at this step, if your company has reached, that means that the market is too crowded with a lot of players. Whatever market size that you had to capture, you've captured. More is not possible. Innovation is not possible. It's a dying business after this, right? So in this case, what you can do and what you should do is called diversification. Now, what do I mean by diversification? Well, by the time you reach this point, this fourth stage, you would have learned a lot and you would have gathered a lot. What do I mean by that? You would have gathered the mindset of the customer segment that you're dealing with. You would have created a distribution channel that is very, very efficient. You possibly would have invested into some infrastructure that, or machinery, factory, etc., which is like heavy investment and can be used to do something else. Diversification means that if you're selling an ice cream, you would probably start selling frozen yogurt. Diversification does not mean that when you're selling an ice cream, you suddenly start selling, create a salon, right? Because that requires a completely different mindset, a completely different set of people, infrastructure, and know-how. Technically, that also means diversification, but for with the context of this video, that's not what I mean. So that is what you should do in the stage number 4. Whether you do these 4 things that I listed, which is marketing in stage 1, in stage 2 is building processes and building your culture and leadership. In stage 3, acquiring more customer and increasing your market share by acquisitions, etc. And in the fourth stage, diversifying. Now, if you have not done all of these in the 4 steps in the journey of you being an entrepreneur, will the company stop growing? Answer to that is no, it won't stop growing, but the life is only going to become more and more difficult. Reason, in the second stage, when you are growing, a lot of people are going to see that growth and they are going to enter, making the market more crowded, which means there are going to be more suppliers and the demand is not going to increase significantly. Also, in the third stage, there are going to be some players who would actually end up doing what I'm suggesting in this video and become far more competitive than you are because you've not done it. Now, that differentiator will take away the market from you. And in the fourth stage, anyways, the whatever you are selling is going to decline. And if it does decline and you don't have an alternative product, then you may become irrelevant. So these are the things that you must do in different stages of the business. It's important that you identify these stages not only by yourself in your mind, but speak to your people and take a consensus of what they really feel. Speak to your customers and take a sense of what does it really feel, in which stage you are at, and then take appropriate action. These actions by no means are comprehensive actions. I cannot tell you comprehensive actions on a video like this. I need to talk to you one-on-one. And should you wish to do so, you can go on to my website. The website is going to be linked here, and schedule a call with me, and I'll be more than happy to do a call and help you there. So if you've liked this video, hit a big fat thumbs up. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. And if you have any questions, you can also mention it in the comment box. So until we meet next time, all you fine people, keep doing the right things at the right time and keep propelling.